Welcome back to your mat. Thanks for joining me. Today's class is just a shorter flow leading us toward Pincha Mayurasana or forearm balance. It's okay if you don't have forearm balance in your practice currently. The way that this flow is going to move, we're going to be visiting shapes that are reminiscent of forearm balance or that help prepare and build up toward forearm balance, so that even if you don't find forearm balance toward the end of this practice, you'll still be building all along the way and becoming stronger so that one day you'll move closer and closer to the pose and the balance. Now, you probably want to have a couple blocks nearby. We are going to use them, so grab 2 blocks and just set them off to the side. You don't need a strap, but I always have one nearby just in case, but no strap is needed for today's class. So set your blocks to the side, and then we'll get started in a tabletop position on the mat. So find your tabletop. Activate your hands straight away. So press the finger pads down. So we're not just pressing the palm down or dumping into the wrist, but we're distributing the weight out over the entirety of the hands. So press like you're gripping the floor. And then shift side to side. Shift forward and back. And then pause when you're forward. Inhale into cow pose. And then exhale round into cat. Inhale into cow. Exhale into cat. Keep going like this. One more time. Then pause in your cat position, rounding up through your spine. Really press your right ribs up toward the ceiling, and press your left ribs toward the ceiling, and then the spine. And then inhale into cow. Lower your forearms to the ground and continue that cat and cow movement. Just a couple more times. And then pause. So heart slightly forward, not into full elbow down cow pose where we're really extending, but just stacking shoulders over wrists. And we're going to play with a little bit of scapular protraction and retraction. So from this position, we're going to let the chest move closer to the ground and allow our shoulder blades to come together on the back. And then you're going to push the ground away and feel the shoulder blades separate. So a few like that. Press away. Last time. Push away and hold. Stay here. Feel the shoulder blades separate. Keep pressing. Hold for 3, for 2, one more, and then release. Crawl your hands forward, moving toward puppy pose. Lower chest and chin toward the ground. And then walk your hands back towards you. Reach for your blocks. And you're going to place your blocks on the medium position. So not the highest position and not the low position, but the medium. Yes, the third choice. Sorry to over-explain that. So the medium position. And you're going to place them about shoulders width apart, or just inside of shoulders width apart. And then lower your elbows down to about the middle of the block. You might have to walk your knees back slightly. And then start to lower chest and chin toward the ground as you press your palms together. You can stay here or let your thumbs move toward the back of your neck. Try to soften your chest toward the ground. And then like you were moving through that cat and cow, Start to separate the shoulder blades and then let the chest move back toward the ground. So just finding that little bit of cat and cow movement. Last moment. And then straighten through the arms. Walk yourself off of your blocks. And then have a seat. Just sitting anywhere on your mat. We're going to play with the block for a moment so you can find any comfortable seat. You can even sit on your extra block. But I'm going to have you hold the blocks between your hands, not holding on with the fingers, but just pressing firmly with the palms. So fingers closed, press firmly and hold the block up about your forehead height. So shoulders and elbows are on the same plane. And then as you squeeze the block with the hands, I want you to bring the elbows together to where they almost touch. You may have enough flexibility to actually touch your elbows to each other, but I'd like for you to pull them away so that they're like 1/8 of an inch or 1/2 a centimeter away from each other. And you might notice, I don't know if you can see in the video, but my arms are shaking trying to maintain this position. And your arms might shake as well. Keep pressing into the block, squeezing the elbows as close as possible without touching. Hold it here. Last 5, 4, 3, 2, keep it right here, but slightly lift the block and lower the block. But try to maintain the distance between the elbows. Last moment. And then release. Set your block to the side. Roll your shoulders up and back a couple times. Then reach your arms out to the side. Wiggle your fingers. Open and close your hands. Reach up. And then bring the hands down. Back to our tabletop. This time with your hands on your blocks. Hands on your blocks. Just moving forward and back. Again, stretching into the wrists. Downward facing dog. Pedal your feet. Then inhale, lift the right leg. As you exhale, knee toward your nose 1 time. Shift forward, let your shoulders stack over your wrists. Inhale, 3-legged. As you exhale, runner's lunge. Step the right foot between the blocks. Dip your hips low, gaze up high. And then lower your left knee to the ground. Release your blocks. Reach your arms up. Anjaneyasana, low lunge. And then as you exhale, half split, return the hands to the blocks and bring them with you. Slide the hands and your blocks underneath your shoulders as we point and flex the right foot. Pause with the right foot pointed. Inhale as you draw your heart forward. And then exhale, push into your blocks. Plug your right leg in and see if you can lift the right heel from the floor. Find a little pulse here at the top. Last 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower the right leg. Rebend into the right knee. Plant the blocks underneath your hands in the low position as you find runner's lunge. Step back to downward facing dog. Inhale, lift your left leg. Exhale, knee toward the nose. Shift forward. Let your shoulders stack over your wrists, then past your wrists. Really squeeze left thigh in toward belly. Inhale, 3-legged. Exhale, runner's lunge. Step your left foot between the blocks. Dip your hips low, gaze up high. Then soften your right knee to the ground. Untuck your right toes, Anjaneyasana. Arms reach up. Half split. Bring the hands to the blocks and bring the blocks with you. Find their high position. Half split. We straighten and or we point and flex the left foot. Pause when the left toes are pointed. Inhale, draw your heart forward. As you exhale, push into your blocks, plug your left leg in and lift the left foot off the ground. It might not lift high. Find a little pulse wherever you are. We've got 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower the left heel down, rebend into left knee, plant your blocks, return to your downward facing dog. And lower your knees to the ground. Move one block out of the way. And then you're going to turn the other block sideways. And we're going to hold on to the block between the wrists. So the block will be on the floor, or maybe between the forearms or up between the wrists. Lower your elbows down if they're not down. So the block, we're on forearms and knees, and the block is between the wrists or between the thumbs, just giving us a little width to work toward. Though eventually you can decide what hand position you like, and I tend to prefer hands together, interlaced fingers, but we're working the shoulders here. So press your thumbs down into the ground. Push the ground away so you feel the shoulder blades separate. Good job. Now hold it right here. Keep pressing so the shoulder blades stay apart. And then start to inhale as you shift forward. You're going to try to tap the block with your nose as far to the edge of the block as you can. And then exhale, push yourself back. 2 more, slowly. Press the thumbs down. Keep shifting forward, shifting forward. How far past the block even can you reach your nose? And then press back. 1 more like this. Pushing, pausing, and then press back up. Now you can keep the block there and maintain and throughout the next exercise, or if you'd like, you can remove the block if you think maybe you can get your nose a little farther or a little closer to the ground. So you can either keep the block or set it to the side, press your thumbs down, either stay on your knees or lift up onto your toes. So now we're more in a dolphin position. Press your nipples toward your knees. And then on an inhale, start to shift forward. Keep separating the shoulder blades. And imagine you've got that block between the wrists and you're trying to reach your nose as far forward as you can. Hold. And then press away. Chest toward thighs. 2 more. Press down. Slowly we move forward. Feel the shoulder blades separate. Keep shifting forward slowly. Pause. And then push chest toward thighs. 1 more. Pause. Press back. Hold it here in your dolphin. See if you can crawl your toes in just a little closer. It's okay if you bend the knees. The legs don't have to be straight. Just keep pressing chest toward thighs. We're breathing here. Keep breathing. Last 3. Last 2. Last 1. Lower down. Child's pose. Hips toward heels. You can stretch the arms forward, or you can lay the arms down along your side body and bring your forehead to the mat. And when you're ready, walk yourself up, sitting on your heels, roll your shoulders a few times, shake the arms. And then before we get too tired, there are lots of exercises that we could be doing to prepare for forearm balance, but trying to do them all at one time and then practicing forearm balance, well, that would be exhausting, not only for me to teach you, but for you to do it, because as the more we do, the more fatigued our shoulders are going to get. And so when we start to get up where we're trying to balance, we're going to be too tired. So that's where we're going to stop the flow for now, and we're going to play for just a few minutes. Um, so let's start to play with our forearm balance, just moving up toward a puppy pose where we lift. Now, if you're near a wall, that might help you feel more comfortable so that you know you're not going to fall over. But you could also set up yourself in front of a couch or a chair, or you've got a pile of pillows if you're worried about going over. Do what you need to do. We will use one block. Actually, you can use both of your blocks and just set them up partway down your mat, about as wide as the mat, or one on each edge of the mat. And we're going to return to dolphin pose. So that's forearms down and the hips up high. So elbows are going to be shoulders width apart or a little more narrow than the shoulders width. That way, as we are upside down or we're moving upside down, the arms naturally want to separate. And if we start with them a little more narrow, they'll naturally separate into shoulders width. But if we start in shoulders width, they'll separate out farther. So place your hands down, press your thumbs down, or if you'd like, you can interlace the fingers. Press the thumbs down and then lift into dolphin. Press your nipples toward your knees, chest toward thighs. And then onto your left block, you're going to place your left toes. Draw your right knee in toward your chest. And then maybe you send your right leg straight up. Then you start to lift higher onto the left toes, and you just find a little more weight in the forearms. Look at the area between the elbows. One more breath here. And then lower yourself back down to the knees. Give yourself a break. Shake your arms. Roll your shoulders. And then decide if you need to adjust anything. Then we'll come back to the forearms. Find your setup. Just a little more narrow than shoulders width. Return to your dolphin. And then step your right foot onto the right block. Draw your left knee in toward your chest. Press your chest toward your right thigh as you send your left leg straight up. And then lift higher onto your right toes. Gaze between the elbows. Push the ground away. One more breath. Lower yourself back down to child's pose. Shake your arms. You can sit up or stay down. Shake it out. Now, this next time, you are going to have the option to maybe press yourself off of the block. Now, it might feel like it's far from being there, and that's okay, but just see how light you can get on the toes that are on the block. All right, back to our dolphin. Lift the hips. Plant your left foot on the left block. Draw the right knee toward the chest, and then send the right foot up toward the ceiling. Now see how light you can become on the left toes, on the left block. Maybe the foot lifts. You find a little bit of balance. And then when you've had enough, child's pose. You can stay in child's pose or sit up. Roll the shoulders, shake the arms. And then one more time, dolphin pose. Find your setup. Step your right toes to the right side block. Draw the left knee in. Send the left foot up toward the ceiling. Press your chest closer to your right thigh. Gaze between the elbows and then see how light you can become on the right toes. And then when you've had enough, child's pose. Stay as you are or walk your hands toward you. Roll your shoulders. Shake the arms. And then have a seat. So you're welcome to stop this video and continue playing and practicing your forearm balance. So if you need a break, the shoulders can feel very fatigued by this time. So feel free to visit this video again as a prep to get you going. And hopefully you'll see some progress and some success with consistency and practice over time. If you'd like some more one-on-one guidance, just let me know. Send me a message here on YouTube, or you can send me a message over on Instagram. My handle over there is at @aBlossomHead. And I look forward to hearing from you. I'll see you next time.